Fourth graders, are you ready for some more science? I'm excited. We're going to learn some interesting things, I think. So, my screen in the back keeps moving all around. I was trying to keep my face in the front for a minute. There we go. Okay, so I just was pointing out this was what you saw last week. And we were trying to figure out, why did the lamp not turn on? And I heard some interesting ideas that said, well, maybe it wasn't plugged in. But then we had read in the story that the person plugged it in. So that wasn't the reason. And I saw some of your other ideas were, well, maybe there wasn't enough wind. And so because there wasn't enough wind, then because the wind turbines create energy, I was really impressed with what you wrote and what you knew. Someone said, well, maybe there's an issue with the power lines not connecting. All kinds of possibilities. So I'm going to make myself smaller. We're going to have a problem we're going to solve, because that's what scientists do. Scientists aren't just about, they're about solving problems. So that's what we're going to try and do. We're actually going to investigate why blackouts occur, and we're going to come up with some solutions to try and prevent them, which I think, living here in California, we all have experienced a blackout before. So here is the town we're going to talk about, Ergston. This picture shows the town that we'll call Ergston. What do you see in the picture? So, I know we're not together, so we can't talk about this together. But I see a town. I see lots of lights. Do you see lots of lights? I see this town is full of buildings with lights, kind of like our town. And then let's look at this next picture. Oh, this is Ergstown a few moments later. So it's the same town, but just a few moments later. Well, how is this picture different? Well, the lights are all out. I mean, the street lights are not on. The building lights are not on. The only thing still on is this car. What do you think is going on in this picture? Looks like a blackout, doesn't it? Well, here's the thing. Ergstown actually has a problem with blackouts. During a blackout, all the power in a city goes out. Blackouts happen much more often in Ergstown than in other cities. Here in Los Angeles, we have blackouts sometimes, don't we? But they try to make it so it's not the whole city, right? But neighborhoods. But this city of Ergstown has a big problem with blackouts. They happen all the time, and they happen to the whole city. Here's Ergstown later that night. What do you notice in this picture? The lights are back on. Yeah. The lights are back on again after the blackout. Around the whole city too, aren't they? So, have you ever been in a blackout? And what was it like? So this is actually the question we're going to think of this week and we're going to write about. Have you ever been in a blackout and what was it like? We're going to come back to this. I'm thinking people might get hurt because if the heat goes off and it's really cold outside, or you might get hurt because the air conditioning goes off and it's really hot outside. That's what we had happen this summer, right? It was so hot some days. And if your power went out and you didn't have a fan or you didn't have your air conditioning, you could get hurt because it was so hot, right? If your electricity goes out, all the food in your refrigerator, if it's out for a long time, all the food in your refrigerator could go bad. And food in the grocery stores. If the electricity goes out at a grocery store, the food in the grocery store could all go bad. And remember, our town, Ergstown, the whole town is having these blackout problems. If street lights stop working, let's look back at the picture. Street lights stop working, look at that car. It's really dangerous for that car because he can't see as well. Even though he has headlights, the street lights make everything so much brighter, don't they? So it could be really dangerous. So I want you to think, if you've ever been in a blackout, what was the blackout like? So we're going to continue thinking about a problem. That was the next question. Why might blackouts be a problem? We just answered that, didn't we? So we actually got a message from the mayor of Ergstown. This says, to systems engineers. That's going to be us. We're systems engineers. From Mayor Jules, Ergstown City Hall. Improvements to the electrical system. Recently, Ergstown has been experiencing frequent blackouts. Blackouts can be dangerous and inconvenient. So I need a team to figure out how the electrical system can be improved. Before the team can begin to solve this problem, it will first need to figure out why the blackouts have been happening. I would like to receive updates as the team discovers possible causes of the blackouts and as the team comes up with ideas about how to improve the electrical system. The town of Ergstown will be very grateful to anyone who can help us solve our blackout problem. Oh, so what does the mayor want help with? He wants help with solving the blackout problem in Ergstown. Very good. And what information does the mayor want the team to give her? Let's see, what does it say? Information about why the blackouts are happening and how the system can be improved. So over the next several weeks, this is what we're going to be working on. You guys are going to get, you ladies and gentlemen are going to get to investigate what could be causing the blackouts in Ergstown, and also to help figure out how we can prevent future blackouts from happening in Ergstown. So here's our question. Really, we're trying to figure out how an electrical system works. So I'm pretty excited. This is going to be fun because we're going to solve this town's problem, and in the process, we're going to figure out how an electrical system works. So we're going to keep track of the questions our questions throughout this. So one word we need to know, because we're going to be systems engineers, is a person who uses science knowledge to design something in order to solve a problem. We're going to be engineers. We're going to design something to solve the problem. So here's where we're going to use our knowledge as science systems engineers we're going to use our science knowledge to come up with ideas to solve Ergstown's blackout problem. See, when scientists answer questions about the world, they think about their experiences. They think about things they've seen and they've done. So that's why we started with the question about the lamp. We started with a small question to think about, what do we already know about this? We also think about ideas that we might have about why or how something happens or how it works. So why does a blackout happen? Well, what did we think about the lamp? Maybe there's a connection between why the lamp didn't work and why there would be a blackout in a whole city. As we investigate and learn more, our ideas change, don't they? But when we share our ideas with others, we can help each other figure out. So what I want you to do is think about, we're actually going to get to, so the question to think about, have you ever been in a blackout? What was it like? And why might blackouts be a problem? And you can write it in the discussion below. Okay? Have you ever been in a blackout? What was it like? Why might blackouts be a problem? So that's the question I want you to write in the discussion below. The last thing I'm going to show you before we end is we're going to start using our science investigation notebook next week. So I want you to make sure you have this book and take a picture and let Ms. Venable know. It says Energy Conversions Blackout in Ergstown, and it has this picture on the front. It's all white. So make sure you have this book, because next week we're going to use that, because scientists use investigation notebooks to keep track of their work and their ideas. Okay? So one more, I'm going to end with our question. Have you ever been in a blackout? What was it like? Why might blackouts be a problem? All right. I'm excited to see what you come up with. See you next week for more science.